Hello everyone. You probably weren't going to be on here yet. If you are, I'll be very surprised. When will be uploaded, I decided to have you guys join me for kind of my morning routine before I get into like collective readings, what I do to kind of set up my day. Um, Trying to get that set in the background. I like that. I like that energy. um, so yeah, I guess I'll just get started. Typically, obviously, I take a shower, get my body in mind right, brush my teeth, drink some water, all those good things, open all of my windows. And then I go ahead and grab one of my mini incense. And yeah, it's going to get started. I typically start off with some of the same routine. I tweak some things every now and again. Like what I'm going to be journaling about is what happened to me yesterday. So I like to journal the day after the day. Um, it allows me truly to process the day fully, completely. I used to do it the day of, journal the day of for my daily planner. And then I was like trying to do it at night. And then I just felt very comfortable with, you know, doing it now. I also realized that I can tweak my routine at any moment, at any time, because I have to do my routine. So I got my affirmation book filled with a mini affirmations. And my book, as you see, Friday is empty. And yeah, I felt like today was a little bit hard for me as well. And I wanted to, I have some tears in my eyes. I was crying in the shower this morning. I'm crying now. But I wanted to get on here because sometimes as spiritual people, and also as tarot readers, not everyone, because I know a few of them, they're like, I don't know everything, and I love them. That's those are people. But also, we got to come in here and show some vulnerability that even when we have the answers, even when we have this faith, even when we have this divine connection to energy, right, getting messages and understanding, sometimes we also struggle. You know, sometimes we also feel like, what the hell is going on in my life? There we go. Move that straight. That makes me feel better. What is going on in my life? What is happening? Like, okay, right? And right now I am dealing with the situation. I'm just like, spread. I don't know how it's gonna work out because the way it's looking right now, it looks like things are going down. But then I just see my affirmations. I ground myself because it's just like a realization. I'm hearing all these things. I'm seeing all these messages. It's like, yes. And also, I wanted to come in here to be like, it's okay to sometimes have a little shaky faith, have a little shaky doubt, have a little bit of fear, a little bit of worry. And I also talk to myself during my morning time as well, and spirit, and my ancestors, and all these things because shit, it feels good. It feels really good to continue that relationship, continue that connection. Um, so yeah, yesterday also I just did not want to see, heard anything by anybody. Just while I continue to root and ground that energy. Only reason I thought to yesterday was my brother, and I still want to go in a message. Bless my heart, bless my mind, bless my throat. Mm. Sometimes you just have to get in there. I was, I did start my period yesterday, so that's also kind of add to it. But I was a tinge like bedridden. But also when I get on my cycle, my period, my monthly, my menstruation, because baby, if you still like with those words, no. Um, I get a lot more energy sometimes. Sometimes I still get cramps before I start some. I get like headaches when I'm like getting that way, but I get this surge, almost this like power of everything happening, and it's like this cleansing, almost this purification of my energy, this healing, but also blood. I don't mean anything about sacrifices or rituals and stuff, or the things where people cut their hand open and whatnot, all this stuff. And it's just like sometimes that's the shedding of your own blood leads a pathway to so many things. And I'm even thinking about those horror stories where people are like, don't have, sex on your period, blood bonds, all those things. So it's just so much. And yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, Sometimes I write a lot. Hmm. And that is journal. I didn't write too much. Sometimes I write a lot. Sometimes I write a little. So I don't need to do too much. I didn't do too much yesterday. So um, then I just choose a number. Or flip to a page. Look at this page. I think this is page 10, if I'm not mistaken. And I was thinking 10, 11 in my head. So we got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. I read from 10 the other day. I'm feeling 10 and 11, so that's hilarious because the 11th page is 10 things I like about me. I put it on my affirmations and manifestations book because I want to affirm those things. I want to feel those things. I may read them. We'll see how I feel depending on how we go. But I like to read my affirmations fully a few times. So if you want to read them with me, read them with me. I also have that for people that want to go to the tarot reading. So that way we can put a start at the affirmations. So we'll put, what is it, 9:16 for affirmation. All right. And again, I read this 5 times. I read the full page once, full page twice, full page. You know what I'm saying? And love, love, love. I'm in cold water in the morning. Ooh, that felt good. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So we have a little belief can go a long way. With faith and self belief, I can accomplish great things, even miracles. It is not a sin to take delight in a compliment, especially since I have earned it. I am valued by others. I will not focus solely on a new love to the detriment of the old created love. My relationships will be founded on intimacy within myself and with others. I appreciate with a conscious mind all that I do and all that I have. I am open to more good vibrations and more reasons to be happy. To show vulnerability is to show strength. I will be honest and express my feelings, even if doing so I possibly lose those I love. A little belief can go a long way. With faith and self belief, I can accomplish great things, even miracles. It is not a sin to take delight in a compliment, especially since I have earned it. I am valued by others. I will not focus solely on a new love to the detriment of the old created love. My relationships will be founded on intimacy within myself and with others. I appreciate with a conscious mind all that I do and all that I have. I am open to more good vibrations and more reasons to be happy. To show vulnerability is to show strength. That's funny because I'm really short. I will be honest and express my feelings, even if doing so I possibly lose those I love. A little belief can go a long way. With faith and self-belief, I can accomplish great things, even miracles. It is not a sin to take delight in a compliment, especially since I have earned it. I am valued by others. I will not focus solely on a new love to the detriment of the old created love. My relationships will be founded on intimacy within myself and with others. I appreciate with a conscious mind all that I do and all that I have. I am open to more good vibrations and more reasons to be happy. To show vulnerability is to show strength. I will be honest and express my feelings, even if doing so I possibly lose those I love. A little belief can go a long way. With faith and self-belief, I can accomplish great things, even miracles. It is not a sin to take delight in a compliment, especially since I have earned it. I am valued by others. I will not focus solely on a new love to the detriment of the old created love. My relationships will be founded on intimacy within myself and with others. I appreciate with a conscious mind all that I do and all that I have. I am open to more good vibrations and more reasons to be happy. To show vulnerability is to show strength. I will be honest and express my feelings, even if doing so I possibly lose those I love. A little belief can go a long way. With faith and self-belief, I can accomplish great things, even miracles. It is not a sin to take delight in a compliment, especially since I have earned it. I am valued by others. I will not focus solely on a new love to the detriment of the old created love. My relationships will be founded on intimacy within myself and with others. I appreciate with a conscious mind all that I do and all that I have. I am open to more good vibrations and more reasons to be happy. To show vulnerability is to show strength. I will be honest and express my feelings, even if doing so, I possibly lose the ones I love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ashe. Probably not gonna read this. I'm reading something and I'm like, that's what personally proud of some of the things I got into. So you don't hold that off. But I like it. I used to do like affirmations like 3 times, read it 3 times, and it's like okay, 4 times feels good, and then 5 I was like 5 just feels extra solid. I don't know, it covers my all the 4 corners in my head, or my mind, body, soul, you know, environment, and so. So I don't know. It just feels like it covers a lot more ground, and it truly allows me to just truly read it and soak it all in. Because sometimes you ever like read something like, hold on, I didn't really capture that. So reading it over and over and over again, plus repetitiveness creates habits, all those things. So, and I have my phone in a smart location. And so being able to take the in, and I like to add in those affirmations, but of course they will be down below. So that way we can read that together. Um, Sometimes I do my morning readings with you guys, and you guys don't know, and I just post reading. um, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I look over here, but then I always ultimately go for my regular tarot deck. This is the first deck I've ever gotten. It was gifted, but I didn't even know about the whole gifted thing. I just didn't have the money at the time to pay for it. So I had to wait until my next check. I was like, you just get this right. So I didn't even know about the whole gifting thing, which is not that's not a thing to me. You don't need to be gifted something. It's like saying I need to be gifted power in order to use my power when it's already inside of me. I need to be gifted a heart to use my heart. Just, oh, come on now, work with me, back, work with me. That's crazy. So we got the Magician, right? And the King of Swords, but on the flip side, because sometimes when cards are flipped, we have the Queen of Swords. So it is a lot weighing mentally on me. And I will be saying me, but if you resonate, baby, you resonate. Because sometimes when I say you or y'all, I be resonating. But I wanted you guys to join me in on this. So if you do resonate with the affirmations, with what I'm saying with this reading, I'm sharing it for a reason. I mean, vulnerable and open for a reason. I want you to show a lot of more aspects of what it means and what it is to truly dive in and express and feel that. So yeah, with the king and the queen, and this is both this Libra and Aquarius air energy, of course, because that's what swords are, air energy. It's taking on this mental understanding of things, and with the Magician card coming up, it's I'm hearing I need to weave a little bit more magic, work a little bit more with magic. And it's funny because I was mentioning my, being on my period and getting a lot more energy, just focus, or even just a lot more channels. It's just almost like a power up each time. And so just being able to use that while I'm feeling not as mentally strong sometimes, and that's where the reliance on my throat, my body, of speaking over myself, of having that faith, of a mustard seed and watering it continuously through my actions, through my words. I was even thinking this morning, I was like, caught like faith is really real. It is really real. People take in and believe these ideologies, these meanings. I remember I was watching, and I still need to finish, but I ain't got Netflix, so we rock and roll, but I will. And it was about this cult that bought out like a part of like a very small town, but it was far up in the hills. And every now and again, they would come down to the town, to get supplies and stuff if they could. And they typically were trying to grow their own farm, their own school, all that stuff. And they had legally bought it out. I really need to finish it, but then some shit started happening. People got murdered, and but the funny thing about it is when you stay over here. This is how my readings go. Even when I'm doing it for others, but even when I think about cults, right? And I'll be like, what is so wrong about a community, right? And not cults, community. the banding together. Now think about them in particular. Again, I did not finish, but just being able to create so many things, like I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm thinking about so many cults, so many churches, so many things where you see so many people struggling. You know, you see the pastor and all this stuff, and they're not struggling quite too much or anything. And it's just like, huh, this is weird. But when you look at people that are looking for community and you wonder like, why are people going to cults? Because people really want community. They really want that, like, okay, this is where I go for this, this is how this happens, this is how this works. Like, they were building, like I said, schools, they were, their own farms, they were about to create their own airport. All these things of being like, this is a sense of community, we rely on ourselves, right? And it's always been a threat. I'm even thinking about back in Minnesota, which is where I'm from. Rondo days is how they have a Rondo Day parade, and when you get down to why we're having a fucking parade, that's because they decide to build highways over Black people's homes, Black people communities. And obviously, that's not the only example, sadly, but it's this understanding that community coming together, being able to rely on your neighbor, your community, knowing the shopman, knowing all this is very valuable because that creates an interpersonal relationship, an interpersonal connection with so many people being like, yes, no, yes, and understanding that and being able to come together. I think about how back then so many people were afraid of riots or mobs or, down with the queen, and then they go and storm literally the castle and bring them out to the, like, it's this collective mind of something. Everybody's talking to each other like something is not adding up for our sake, but they're doing something that's working out for them without a mindset or a thought for us, something. And then it's just like, okay, we got to come together, we got to work, and we got to do something and make it shake. I need my jacket. I'm a little chilly, just a tin, so I'm just gonna go grab my jacket. Anemic. We got on the patio, but we looking like big old paper. And also, I want to say that there wasn't me farting. That was my sock squeaking on this goddamn floor. But if I did fart, baby, y'all just bless me because I'm not my name. It is natural. But it's a sense of community. And I'm realizing, like, okay, where is community nowadays? Where is that sense of support? Like, even back then, where cults were all the rage and all that stuff, it was like they were just looking for a true sense of community. And I think that's also why a lot of people go back to the churches, that they're looking for a sense of gathering, a sense of community. And I did forget to put the time on there. Oh my God. Let's just say it was at 14. Maybe we'll do 14. I feel like that's a number I've seen. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I'm so sorry. We'll do 14, and then I'll check it afterwards. Actually, I can't check it afterwards. We'll just put 14 for now. For tarot start. And it'll put me around 10 minutes of talking about tarot, so that kind of makes sense. And just recognizing that, and I'm realizing I grew up, in a church, but I also grew up around my family. Around my family, we're always doing something, always having an event, especially when summertime. So obviously coming from Minnesota, it's winter a lot of the time. So it was like a barbecue every fucking day, a gathering, and I'm finna throw something in a grill. It was just a normal catchphrase when it hits summer, when it even hits spring, baby. If it hits 60, 55 degrees. We out there. We are out there. And we just gather and you bring this, you bring this, and it was a good time. And that's what people are looking for, being able to come together with a sense of community and recognizing I can rely on you to help me in this situation, to, understand me. This has been irritating. My anxiety is getting the best of me. Not my anxiety, my OCD is getting the best of me. And being able to take that in and recognizing that for something and moving in that way of operation. And with the queen, the king, and the magician, it's like weaving some mental magic for me. Weaving an understanding of what I truly want from community, what I truly want from self, what I truly want from life. All of these things, and allowing myself to truly rest with that on my mind, on my head, and on my heart, without feeling like it's weighing me down, without feeling like it's too much, without feeling like it's never going to happen. Is a sense of that it will and it can. So, my lips are dry. So yeah, I'm recognizing that for myself. I'm just like, yeah. Cult like faith seems real. It's this unshakable, like, no, this is real, this is true, this is real. And not until a sensible point of not being able to take in more information, take in more truth, take in outside information. Because that's what I said, not so much a cult, but community. Being able to take in outside information and recognizing, this is the baseline of something. This is how it should be operating. And with a lot of shit that has been happening to me and for me and with me, I'm recognizing that a lot of shit ain't been fair, a lot of shit ain't been right, and I'm not living and I won't live in a cycle where I'm handling one situation, I feel stressed out about another. I'm figuring out, I'm not living in the means of that. And this card came out quick. We got the moon card coming out, which is about intuition, understanding, following that guidance, and feeling that. I was watching a whole bunch of shorts yesterday. Like I said, I was just in the bed. I did not feel like doing anything yesterday. Starting that, it just like, I need that moment. When you start to feel it, you just like, I need a moment. Usually the first day is like, my first day is like me needing a moment. And then after that, I'm like, a little pet in my step. That was good. And taking it in and recognizing that, like, yeah. But either way, I was watching something where they were like stranded on the moon, or they were sent to the moon. I don't know. It was a person that watches movies or like shorts, and then they literally recap it. Right? It was so good. They do it so good. Especially when I didn't want to watch some of the movies. I was like, thank you. But they were on the moon, and they were talking about how they heal faster on the moon because of its healing properties. But also, when they kill themselves, another clone, another body gets created because the moon can't take it. And then when they die, or I say kill themselves because the person killed themselves. Or when they die, or they get anything of that sort, the moon literally lets out a loud noise, a loud shriek, a loud growl, like crying, and then thus creates a new being. You know what I mean? So it's just this energy of even looking at the puppets of it's like it's creating something. It doesn't want me in this pain, in this cycle, right? And I'm grateful. I love where my life is, because beforehand, when I was in these moments of even having these like scared moments, these stress moments, these tense moments, dealing with my depression, dealing with trust issues, dealing with anything, it was this realization of being like, okay, but where do I truly want to be? Where's my gut telling me I should go? What is my soul telling me I should do, how I should act? I want to leave. Oh, my throat, come on now, I got that throat chakra list in for a reason. Um, but it is to lead by my heart and a lot more, diving into that a lot more, because when I start getting into my head, I can lose faith, I can lose spirit. And that, luckily, like I said, I'm not where I was used to be, where I just like, it's yeah, that's not where I was in. I'm in a really yesterday, just like, no, 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 no. That is not it. That's not what we're gonna do. And I had to realize when when I'm chilling for myself, I kind of get distracted. But it was this realization of the moon, the clone energy, and recognizing I'm not meant to be this way. I'm not meant to feel this way. You know, I'm not meant to have fleeting moments of blessing, fleeting moments of progress, fleeting moments of joy. I'm not. We're not. Nobody should. That is not a thing where we're always worried about something, scared about something, trying to figure something out to the point that we can't relax until our body literally incapacitates us. You know? And I have been really relying on my intuition and my heart so much more within this past year. And I'm saying year, but probably a little bit in the other year as well. But it just taking it in a whole lot. Should I would probably say on my heart, what the hell? Oh my god, I forgot. I was like, what the hell is that? I trapped flies in there yesterday as well. Came to my room to do what I needed to do, still trying to do all this stuff, and went back in there into my room, into my office, and I trapped. It was so many flies in here, but I'm getting distracted. But I'm going to come back to that point later. And I had to recognize like I need to follow my intuition, and it's never led me wrong. Actually, when I deny my intuition, I get fucked over. I don't speak up for myself when I know I should. I deny opportunities. I question faith. I question spirituality because I'm so in my head about how everything looks to this mind eye that it affects me. And with this Pisces energy, this delusional cult like intuitional energy, it's like you can trust in yourself. You can truly, truly, truly trust in yourself, trust in your path, trust that you know what you're doing, trust that you know where you're going. Being able to take all that in and recognizing that. And every time I think about my faith and how strong it is, I'm like, even in my moments where, I have, luckily I haven't for some time, but, I deal with, chronic paranoid depression. Look it up. You know what chronic paranoid depression is? That's what I deal with. But I don't allow it because I allow myself to recognize those instances and those moments where I'm possibly leading into that. And when I'm even, every now and again, just like, those suicidal thoughts kicking in, it's just like, why? What? I'm not in the same environment, place, or mindset anymore when I was a child when I was doing those things. And I was feeling those things. And it is sometimes quite hard to get me out of that to the point where spirit is always the one to get me out of it. They're always the ones to be like, hey, we ain't gonna let it happen. So let's deal with this together. We're not gonna let this happen. We're here with you every and they have really led me out of some really, really dark places, some really dark moments and things. And I'm recognizing that my energy has shifted, you know, since probably last February, not this February, last February. I won't even probably say March, last March in my life, things really started shifting very heavily in the way that I perceive me, myself in relationship with spirits, with the divine, with all these things, and growing that deeper connection and it brought me closer to self. So that way, when I am feeling those moments where I just need to really cry in the shower, or I'm taking those moments where I just need a second. Or also taking those moments to revel in joy. Because sometimes when I get in those headspace, and I'm not feeling, I know when I'm feeling depressed, I know when I'm feeling down bad. I just know this is a tinge of just a little bit of a struggle. But when I'm feeling those moments, I'm gonna bring my podcast back. I'm excited to bring it back. I really am. I might just upload some of the podcasts that I already have. But when I'm depressed, I don't want to be depressed. I don't like the feeling, but the feeling overtakes so much. But it's like I know in my guts, I don't want it, but it's just like, but is this it? Is this all? I guess this is it. This is all. And it's just like, no, spirit is just like, no. So for me, I need a lot of reassurance and understanding when it comes to so many things in my life, and just trusting my intuition for that. And also, I've been learning to use my rage, use my anger, and recognize that it isn't. If someone, like the last affirmation said, I will say what I need to say, even if it possibly lose those that I love, because I can't lose me. If something doesn't feel right, I feel like I need to say something, do something, create something, and send out a mindset of that. Anything else before I start diving into this message even further? Just looking at this reading, and I'm gonna pull up the cards and get into it, all the good jazz. I'm healing a lot of financial wounds, right? What I mean by that is kind of the way that I grew up with the mother that I had. That was put above a lot, including us, me and my siblings. If it wasn't a man, it was money. If it wasn't a man, it was money. So, and even this realization of growing up in that way, feeling like my worth comes from what I can give to other people, from I had to, the way that grew up and look at some of those videos and whatnot, but the way I grew up, it didn't feel like I got love because love was there. I got love because I paid for it. I got love because my room was clean. I got love because I didn't piss off my mom that day. And even then, that didn't happen. And I remember my mom used to say, I don't need to like or love you. All I need to feed you, clothe you, and house you. And make sure you get to school so I don't go to court. But I don't need to like or love you. I love you, but I don't like you. So growing up with that would feel like, okay, if I do this, this will work. If I do this, and I come from this organization, very money obsessed, my mom was and is. Always trying to find a way to get an extra dollar, do something extra, get some money. She stole money from me so many times. I remember one time I had money from my sperm donor. That's what I call that man that helped my mom conceive me. I have my sperm donor because we seen him at a gas station. We didn't find him. We seen him at a gas station in Minnesota, but he lives in Iowa. The last time that we checked, and he said he was gonna stay there. He was supposed to be buying a house. But apparently, after we had seen him at the gas station, he'd been there for a few years with him and his new family. Even though him and his new family is like him and my mom were never together. So it's like I don't know why I said that anyway. But him and his family, he was home, hey, here goes some money. Gave me the money. Me, I feel like if I had a lot more ones back then, it made it seem like a whole lot more money. I was a kid. I was like 10, maybe 11. And now, stupidly, but then, adolescent, this is my mom, the person I've been on, I gave my mom lots of grace for years. And she stole it. And I remember she's like, oh, like I lost it in the clothes, because she used to have these drawers. Like it was think of like a kitchen, but it's inside of a room. It's not an actual sink, but it's wood. So like how you have the actual the island and the actual cabinet stuff. But it was like that, but it was wood and it was in a room and all this stuff. And it was big drawers that she put all her clothes in. And for months, I'm just looking through those clothes and being like, you sure it's in here? It's in there. It's in there. She's telling me that, knowing that it's not in there. And me, obviously, after looking through the clothes like twice, I'm just like, it's not in here. It's really not in here. She really did take it. And then she got offended that I accused her of taking the money when I gave it to her. And she told me it was lost in the clothes. And I was like, okay, well, you think it, and it was literally only $20. And I got it in once because I wanted to make it seem like it was more. And then I was like, what do you think? She's like, no, I'm not gonna get no. After all the stuff I get and give for you, you're fine. I should take it as a repayment. I spent it at the club. Why would you have me looking in a place where you knew there was no money? And it's so crazy because also her sister, my aunt, stole my birthday money and had us looking for it consistently at night. And it was like, what? Because we hosted my birthday at our house now. When you growing up, you put that little money in your thing, people will start pinning money to you. I had so much money, people spending 20s, 5s, it was all my family there. She took the money. I had us looking at her, kids looking on it, she took it. Later on, I did wind up trying to get my gift back, and I stole the money from her, and I put it in my mom's mattress while we were there. I took the money, I don't know, she had a whole bunch of coins because she was gonna go to the laundromat, and it was probably a month or a couple of weeks later or something. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take it and I'm put it in here. And then she called her mom, realized that it's missing. I'm like, I put it in here. But I also grew up with siblings. So I don't know if my mom should get the known thief or my siblings to get the kids. So I deal with money because it's just like I've gotten my money stolen so many times. People not giving me my money, people not paying me what I'm worth. Just all these things locking me into it. It's just like, I remember doing an interview for my mom and her being like, I was like, okay, final question, who's your favorite kid? She was like, the kid that, gives me the most gifts or gives me the most money. And I was like, oh, so it's me, right? She's like, well, I mean, unique, gotta go again. And I was just like, she was like, no, I'm just kidding. I love everyone. I don't care about that. I'm just like, oh, let's go. I was like, huh, okay. Alrighty. And even just now, just who she is. I don't talk to the woman anymore. We're just hearing from my brother every now and again. I'm just like, this woman is still the same. If it is not putting a man or what a man says or does over us, it is her putting money and funds over us. Literally babysitting from the age of 8 to 10 just to get some extra money in my pocket. And so the reason why I'm saying all that, the money, the finances, because I have a few pentacles in the reverse. So we have the King of Pentacles, Taurus energy in the reverse, and that immediately made me think of that. We also have the Three of Pentacles in reverse as well. And who is this understanding of I need to heal my relationship with money? And how it is also wasn't taught how to save properly, how to do all it, and I'm learning, have learned, did learn, you know. And I'm not even a person that cares about money like that. I really don't. I love to say if I got $5, I really only got two. Because two's going to savings and at least one is going to somebody else so I can share the wealth. You know? And like that's why I don't really care for money. I know it is a necessity. And that's kind of where I try to leave it, is that it is a necessity. But I don't want to have I care so much for it because I've been around people that cared so much about it. So much about it. I remember having a bishop, rest in peace, still fucking with me, you know, man, he had some issues with like, you know. And he was like, I was, a drug dealer, out there, selling this, selling that. And so I took those same things, I literally unplugged it. He literally did a description. Like I unplugged that knowledge of me selling on the streets and me being a hustler and all this stuff. And I just transferred that to the church. And everybody, woo! And I'm over here like, hold on. What the fuck are you selling to us? And what are we buying? And he had a Bentley. And our church needed many renovations, many new things, and he drove around in a Bentley. I remember, this hair in my mouth was strong. I remember he was doing like a collection because he said donating into him getting his car was us donating into our lives. When I say that man was good, that man was good. And we were kissing, but he eat it up. And I was like, I want to kiss some coins, because, But it's just a sense of like, I've seen what it does, where it's like, it's a neglection of community. Being centered around people. And this is coming after this card, the Five of Cups in reverse, where sometimes I feel that a sense of loss of community, of support, of true understanding, of fairness, of people understanding. You ain't gotta steal from me. You ain't gotta. I'm always willing to give. And that's also why I'm learning with this Five of Cups thing about this from my mom. I cannot always be willing to give, but it doesn't make me less giving. And I'm learning that. At my big ass age, I'm saying, learning that. Is realizing not everybody is as understanding, compassionate, generous, all these things, grace. But I want it so much for everyone else that I'm so willing to give it, even sometimes to people that do not deserve it. And that's where I'm kind of at this point in my life where I'm just like, I'm giving up on trying to give more to others when it is literally draining me, when it is literally continuous misunderstanding, when it is literally continuous neglect, continuous unfairness, continuous disregard, dangling a carrot on my head. I don't need to do these things for you. To the point where I can't even ask people for anything. When I'll be like, I'll do this for you, and I'll do this for you, and I'll do this for you. So that way like what you're giving me, I don't know how to accept things just being given to me without being like, okay, let me give you something back. Let me make worth giving you. Give me this. Let me, and that's how I am. I love like, let me do this. Let me make sure that you are feeling safe, comforted, secured, pleasure, whatever it is. Because it's in a mindset of being like, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm shooting them and not people pleasing. Because thankfully I've been out of that for, every now and again I struggle, but for the most part I've been out of that for a few years. I'm not doing that. I'm saying no. I mean, if I was one person that kind of says no, but every now and again people need to think ask me more than once. I'm like, all right, fine. But I had to put my foot down with that too. Like, don't ask me again. And I literally, after I stopped telling people stop, I just went quiet. People ask me something again, I be like, after I get my answer, because it's so meaningful to me growing up with somebody that was very manipulative, all these things. So it's just like, I'm realizing sometimes relationship that I have with my mind and money, because I have a lot of pentacles. All I have is pentacles and swords. My mental and my finances is just sometimes it feels like it's hanging in a balance. Feeling like me being alive, using things is a problem because of how I grew up. You know? And I even tell people, like, I'm not a fan of feeling or being a burden to other people. So it also makes you struggle to ask for help, to even vent sometimes. And even after a vent, I'm like, you know what? Okay, all right, that's fine. Like, I don't even like, it's like, so this Taurus, this Five of Cups, and this Three of Pentacles in reverse, which are the only reverse cards I have besides this one, but this one feels a little bit different than this energy. It's making me recognize where I am still healing, where I still need to give myself grace. Because I am learning. I'm healing that younger inner child continuously, that inner teenager. I'm recognizing again, because I always say, like, I don't really care. I'm not a person that cares about money. I'm not going to deny them money, but I'm not a person that's like, I like to go after my passions, but I've quit jobs that were paying double the amount of a livable wage because it was literally draining my energy and my soul. Because the structure wasn't right. Because people were bullshitting. I'm not one to stay around. And that's even in spiritual things. I'm just like, something there just ain't right. I'm not going back. I don't have the capacity to deal with that right now. Whether it be with friends, I'm okay with taking that step back, taking that moment, like, this is not right for me. And I know it's leading me somewhere. It's just sometimes when you gotta cut through the new path, when you gotta tread through those waters and stuff, and you're creating a new healing energy for not just me, but for my ancestors, it's just like, yeah. I've always been a person that has enjoyed being around and in a sense of community. You know, my church is always throwing something on a Sunday, but they also always serve breakfast and lunch during services. And whether it was services or not, when you go there for praise dance practice and Bible studies and for theater and people rapping in the studio, there was a lot of shit going on in the church. It was like literally a community center, and then they tossed a Bible in there. I fucking loved it. But being able to take that in, always throwing big events, inviting big parts of the community. We walk around and play Atlantis. I feel like what Dolly Parton said, it should be spread around. Not Dolly Parton, oh my God. Hello, Dolly said in the movie. And it should be spread around like manure. Keeping all that in, what are you going to do with all that? You can't even spend that in your lifetime. Your kids can't even spend that in a lifetime. But you would rather hoard it versus allowing it to heal and create a world where you're not exploiting people. So with this Page of Swords coming in, I'm recognizing I got to use my mind for something else, use my mind for something different. Come into the power, come into the essence of recognizing things that I have. Again, the Page of Swords is also about your intuition. Coming back, like I said, that's the next upright card. Follow my intuition, my gut, my creative mind, my outside thinking. And I grew up on Section 8. I grew up on food stamps. I grew up from bouncing house to house to house. I grew up on hand-me-down clothes. I grew up on having 3 people in a bedroom. One bathroom for 7 people in the house. All of these things, the pipes freezing in the winter, so you gotta boil the water and open the goddamn oven so that you can have some more electricity being out for some time periods. And being blamed for that. What am I supposed to do? So with this Page of Swords, I've always had this outside thinking, this outside mind of like, this does not seem right to me. How is this possible? You know, I remember learning when I was in school how money first came to be, like paper money first came to be the currency, you know? And when they were really trying to fight back, I think it was the Brits to do with the case. And they were like, okay, instead of using, gold and shillings and this and that, we'll use pebbles, and it crashed the bank because they decided to just barter and like, this is worth value. And then they came up with money, the paper money. So just certain things were just like, what concept does that make? You're literally killing our planet by trying to take the trees, right? Just in this instance. And then also, you think about a technology, how many people like, this is accidentally deposited into your bank because a number slipped. You telling me I can have any certain amount of money just by adding on some zeros because it obviously isn't real? And yet this is something that people need to have home. To have a home, to have food. To have health care. To even be seen in some type of light of being a contribution to fucking society. And I was just like, I don't want that. What does that mean to me? Money is not where my value and my worth is held. Death and eating are millionaires, okay? That's all you got on there. I mean, no sense. So Page of Swords again, telling me my way of thinking, my way of really not entrapping my mind of being so obsessed, so worried about funds, truly allows me to be blessed in giving. I just, once I get something, it's like, okay, I got it. I've handled my things. Now what can I do for other people as well? I don't want to be a burden. And I'm healing out of like feeling like I'm a burden by just existing as well. But I've always like, I don't want to be a burden to people. I got this, and I don't want to bother them. I don't want to disturb them. I don't want to upset them. But also on the flip side, it's like, but you want to help them. You want to give them grace. You want to give them understanding. You want to be generous. You're kind. All these things. So it's like, and that's where the Seven of Swords comes in. Sorry, not the Swords. No, yeah, the Seven of Swords. What am I saying too? Yeah, I'm not tripping. I have to count the swords and make sure I'm not tripping. The Seven of Swords. It allows me to recognize where plans may or may not be working, where things may not be working for me, And I am like a emotional, as they say in my human design, I'm an emotional authoritative, emotionally authoritative, but I'm also a projector, manifester. You know anything about that? It is literally, you have to go based off your feelings. Just your emotions. So allowing my intuition, my heart to lead the way is leading me to that Seven of Pentacles. Because right now it's like, am I doing it? No, I'm gonna wake myself up. I'm gonna do what I need to do because this is not how my life is supposed to live. Worried about something I don't care about, and that is where it has been clicking for me. It's like, I'm worried about something I don't care about. Like, I know I need, like, spirit knows I need, the world knows we need, but like, and when I say care about, I mean like, I'm not like going to take any opportunity. I'm not going to steal from someone. I'm not going to put them in unfair situations. Swindling someone. And so coming into this with this Eight of Swords and this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, does let me know that I, especially with the Seven of Swords being right on top of it, I am causing a rift in my life in the best way. It's almost like plate tectonic shifting, rubbing against each other. This irritation is only for so long until something new is created. Or lava bursting and it continues to burst and now it's creating and it feels like it's just a continuous explosion, but it's actually creating lands and islands and flourishingness. And I'm recognizing that while I'm going through these changes, these shifts, these movements, the ocean, I remember having a dream of the ocean just coming over me while I'm standing inside of a puddle. And it just washed over me. And I didn't move from the puddle. I wasn't pushed away. It just was like this calming ocean. I can feel the pressure of it, but not heavy. But it washed over me in such a cleansing pressure energy, almost like being baptized. But it felt a lot more powerful and good for me. So I'm recognizing, like, I'm not spinning some fate. I'm creating my destiny. I'm creating what I truly want and need to cultivate in my life. Because it is necessary. I need to go after my dreams. I need to cultivate so many things. I cannot wait to do another brunch of embrace. I cannot wait. I did a brunch where I cooked soul food, which is hilarious. I did a brunch where I just had a whole bunch of gifts and weed is gifts and stuff, and just a whole bunch of kid things like the big old billowy thing that we had and all that stuff, just so people can interconnect with their child, but also with community, And I had a beautiful turnout, and I cannot wait to do that again with an understanding, because that's just who I'm. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And that's just where my root is. And so even with the Seven of Pentacles looking at me, it's about an affluential person, a confident person that assures themselves and that leads in that abundance. And even with this Five of Cups and this Three of Pentacles, it's like there may be a disruption, or was a disruption in my community, in my circle, in my relationships. And I'm recognizing, okay, but there's always another way out there. There's always another situation to dive into. Yes, Queen of Wands and Ace of Wands, Aries energy coming in. I'm just going to I've done so many things, just being creative and understanding, just allowing the ideas to flow in and happen for me and be there for and with me. It just felt really good. Even the Two of Pentacles, sometimes with the balance of these things, and not the King of Wands coming up, baby, show your face. These final four cards are good. But with this Two of Pentacles, sometimes taking this balance, these are heavy. These are heavy. Pentacles are supposed to be heavy because it takes years. Pentacles are years of healing, of working through, of understanding. The King of Wands, Leo energy, this fire energy coming in here, being this confident, sure person is so funny. Because even when we split the deck, excuse me. Because even when we split the deck and all those things, we got the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So it's this continuous balance that I have of recognizing sometimes I don't know how to be in feminine energy of receiving. Like I said, it's like, no, I gotta do this, I gotta do it. I'm always in action mode because growing up, I've literally always talked to myself, we have to figure out shit a lot of times by ourselves. A lot of times, like if it's not gonna get done, or if it was promised to get done, it may not probably most likely get done. So we're gonna have to figure out, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna have to. It was a lot of relying on ourselves for a lot of things. And not feel like we can ask, because when we did ask, it was like, okay, what you can do for me? Well, if you do this, you can get this. If you just like, all right, yeah, that's really something simple. And like, it wasn't even asking you to spend anything. Maybe some time. So just coming in with that is like, yeah, I'm healing that and recognizing fate is in my hands by being creative, by being open-minded, by recognizing to not pull so much on the mental of things. But right now they're telling me to go into the spiritual. Because it is very necessary. And I've been a person that's also with the healing, because growing up, I always was afraid when I was in the church, like praying this, I'm listening to No Weapon and all this stuff, just so afraid when I was there. And it's just like, you're healing that as well. You are healing that as well. You are working through that as well. You know? And I'm recognizing so many things with this king, queen balance, all this stuff coming in. It is a new start. It is a new beginning of me wreaking havoc in my life in the best way. Like, I'm turning shit up. I'm turning shit up. I'm continuously snapping myself out of thoughts, speaking life into myself. I'm continuously recognizing what truly drives and pulls me and what I do want to get paid for. What I do want to be seen for. You know? So this coming in is like, there is a plan that needs to be made, that needs to be cultivated and created, but the plan has to follow your intuition. The plan has to follow your dreams and goals that you had as a child. Your plan has to follow you. Like when I was saying I have to change my morning routine, sometimes I have to change things in my life that I've been doing in order to get a different result. When I started saying no, people were really meaning it. They say, okay, well, I'm gonna keep trying. And then they would ask me again, and I'm just like, okay, now you're not listening. I just gotta go quiet, because obviously me saying something is not doing something for you. Very powerful for me. When I was like, no, you're undercutting me. I'm not gonna take that position, but thanks for the opportunity. And I'm recognizing them saying thanks for the opportunity is like, I don't need to take it. Opportunities are just that, it's an opportunity. I'm thinking about that one commercial where he's like, I'm opportunity, and he knocks on the TV, and I'm knocking. So I feel that in my life, it's just like I'm taking charge. Oh, baby, that feels good. And I'm taking charge. And I'm diving into that very cautiously, boldly. You know? And taking that in. And it's so funny because I was not expecting this reading today, but it feels very settled in my body. And even just helping and encouraging my brother yesterday is like, I've always been that type of silver lining person. A few people got mad at me. I don't want no solution. I just want to win. I want to say, all right, I'm sorry. Like, but I'm always going to see a way out. I'm always going to see a chance for grace, for understanding, for hope, for all these things. For not just me, but for everyone, because that is what everyone deserves. That isn't a piece of shit. So, yeah, after this, I typically honestly just close it out. I might, typically I would be writing things down and gathering and all this stuff. I don't want to take y'all on my full journey of studying, because when it gets crazy, the thoughts that be coming in, the channels that be coming in, but I'm recognizing follow my intuition has always led me right. I remember a story, I probably told it before, and it's just the one that I first think of when I first think about others possibly recognizing my gift and putting it, also recognizing it with me. We were at our house, our houses in Minneapolis, one of our houses in Minneapolis. I'm saying that because we moved a lot because of Section 8, not like we have not small wish. Actually, no, I don't. Fuck landlords. Anyways, I'm serious. Fuck landlords. Anyway, we got this big windows, the door, and then it's like a space where it's like a wall, and then you come out of that section, and you come inside of the actual house, and it's like a big window, and there was a couch that was right in front of the window. And I probably described it badly because it was, and I was just leaning on the couch this way, and I'm looking out the window, and I was staring out the window for some time, just staring out the window. And, cousins and all them was over and whatnot. And I remember my mom asked me, she's like, why are you staring at, what are you doing? And I'm like 4, maybe 5. And I just was like, fire. Like, I see fire. I smell fire. And she's like, girl, what the hell? She's looking out the window. Everybody else goes, there ain't no fire. And I'm like, no, I just see fire. I smell fire. And coming from, I will say one thing about my family, even whether Christian or not, because not everybody in my family is Christian. But growing up as Christian, when they see a gift, baby, they gonna use that gift, you got a gift, use that gift, whether it was for God or not, but they're gonna help you hone in using that gift, and they believe it. And I will say always in my family, if they thought it was a ghost, we all thought it was a ghost. If you say you see it in a dream, you see it in a dream. You say, like, we love to hone in on the spiritual gifts and trust and believe in it and advance it. But it caused my mom to, or somebody, I don't know who gave her the idea, or she got the idea, whatever, to call the fire department to check our carbon monoxide. And carbon monoxide was literally leaking into our house. And this is, Minnesota's known for having, I don't know if they, as far as I know, they still got gas stoves and stuff, but we got a lot of gas shit. One wrong move and it's taking us down. And this is that moment sometimes where the power and the heat will go off, we gotta open the oven. So she's like, how'd you, I don't know, I just seen it. I just said fire and it was carbon monoxide leaking in our house. So just allowing my intuition, even when all the words and all the pictures and pieces aren't coming together, it's still me speaking it, doing what needs to be done, saying what needs to be said, right? And just follow my intuition in all aspects. So even with the affirmations lining up with this reading, like I said, this is just a page I chose of recognizing that. And it's so funny when I'm feeling a number, I'm called to, because I said 10, 11, and 11 again is 10 things I like about me. And I go with people who, my mother tells me she don't like me. So it's hilarious of me getting into that, where spirit is always leading me as soon as I follow my intuition. I'm gonna take that as a sign for me to wrap this on up. So yeah, taking that in, I'm recognizing that, and what was that? And I'm recognizing that because that sound is fuck with me, and I don't know how it's gonna fuck with y'all. So yeah, and it's so funny. The first one that I wrote is my ass. Is fat. What can I say? That's it. That's all. That's literally what I put. My ass is fat. What can I say? That's it. That's all. It was hilarious. That's the first thing I put. My ass is great. So I'm going to go ahead and read this off camera because, like I said, some things get in there. And sometimes people feel like vulnerability is oversharing. And if we learn from the octopus, baby, it is not oversharing. Okay? It is being vulnerable to share what you know and feel and understand is necessary. So thank you guys for joining my affirmation, my morning routine, my prayer reading, all this stuff. And again, if you resonate, take what resonates for you. Because me coming on here is awesome, and we know that somebody possibly needed this. Because I could have came on here after I did all this, like I usually do. But something was like, no, have them come in and also tell them how you've been feeling. Because I don't want to be around or taking advice from nobody that ain't been through nothing. That don't really, and not saying that, like, again, I'm not for somebody needing to struggle for struggle's sake, because what the fuck, no. But it's a sense of sometimes those people come from a place of air authority or very small-mindedness, not always, but sometimes, but also, I'm hearing the song Doshi Knows Please. If you went up, if you never suffer, you can never tell me shit. And often else, he's like, it's hard for you to tell me how I'm operating. Even when I talk about some of the abuse that occurred, and people are like, I want to do that, I want to do that. Well, I'm glad that you did not grow up in an abusive household where you have to understand how to live under that. and what you would have done if you did live in an abusive household. I think so. Certain things like that were just like, but I'm still gonna share that where I'm struggling, where I understand things, because I want you to know I don't know everything, but I do know some shit. I do understand some shit, but I don't know and understand all shit. And me coming on here, I say it all the time, whether I'm doing a reading for myself on here or not, but it's just recognizing I want to be with people that understand they don't understand everything, excuse me, thank you, Spirit, but they are willing to ground, root, and learn and expand themselves with experiences, with conversations, with meditations, which whatever it is. And that's what I'm truly recognizing is I'm not building a community off of trauma bonding, but off of trauma healing. That's where I'm building my community. We're not trauma, we're trauma healing. We're healing it. We're ancestrally healing. So before I get too far, too deep, too in, because maybe I can keep going, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off. See y'all later. It has been great. It has been great. Okay.